For most investigators and for most Crosstracks users, you're conducting a lot of different types of investigations. And one of the variables inside of those investigations may be the types of subjects that are part of your investigation. If you're doing domestic investigations, you could have the client, and then another subject could be a spouse, a relative, so on and so forth. If you're doing insurance investigations, you could have the claimant, once again, a relative, a coworker. Any of these can come into play when you're doing different types of investigations. Crosstracks gives you a way to add 1 or 100 subjects to an investigation. The first thing you want to do as you're getting started is to set up the types of subjects that you deal with. So you want to click on Settings and then scroll down here to the Case Customization area and click at the bottom, which is Subject Types. This is going to bring up a list of all the types of subjects that you have created. Some of them are already in the system for you, but you can designate as many as you want. Here we have relative, witness, victim, business, driver, talent, so on and so forth. To add subject types, all you do is click on Add, and then you can type whatever you want to into that title box, and that'll create a subject type for you. Once you get that subject created, next you want to designate the fields that go with a particular subject type. I'm going to click on Manage Custom Form over here on the right for this subject type. That's going to allow me to add, remove, or edit fields for this particular subject. For example, for a subject type, I would not need a bondsman's phone number. So if that was here, I could delete it. So I'm going to scroll through here and just look at these fields. All right, they look okay. I don't do insurance investigations, so I am going to remove, by clicking the X, I'm going to remove this field for my subject type. I don't want to have the comment field in there. I'm going to remove that one. Also going to remove this field because it's useless for my particular type of investigations. One person may want a particular field in there, another investigator may not. Once again, there's no right or wrong way to do this. It's just a matter of preference when you're setting these up. When you get finished, go down here to the bottom, and for this particular case, for this particular subject type, you want to designate a primary field. Most often it's first and last name. Some put a middle name in there. When you get finished, click Save. Now let's say you want to edit a particular type of field that's located in one of your customized forms. Let's say it's this date of birth right here. I'm just going to click on the edit. You can designate whether or not that field has to be filled out. The label here is already set. When you roll over it, that's what the help text is. The next is access. You can limit access to a certain person or role. If you don't want your clients to see that particular field, you can uncheck it or check it. And then the same thing with the investigators or admin. And the value is just the value of the field. In this instance, it's a number, and that's already been chosen, so that's not editable. Once you get finished, you're going to click Close. Then that's going to save your settings there. I'm going to go back down at the bottom here and save my form again, as I did before. Now you have all of these different subject types. How do you get them to appear or be available to you for certain cases? With that, you want to go back to Settings. This time we're going to click on Case Types here in the Case Customization area. We're going to associate what type of subjects we want to be available for our different types of cases. In this instance, we are going to edit this domestic case type. Down here towards the bottom, you have your default subject type, which is a spouse, and then you have the additional subject types. You can choose from all of your subject types. You can add those or remove those. But any of these that you put in here, when you go to open this case or edit this case, these are the only 5 subject types that are going to be available to you. And you can add more, you can remove them. Certain cases may have only one subject type or one additional type. Again, it goes back to your preference and the type of cases that you work. I'm going to click cancel to move out of here. Let's go over to this case that we've been working with throughout the tutorial series, which is the Freddie James Flintstone case. I have one subject, only the primary subject on this case, which is Freddie James Flintstone, but I want to add a few more subject types that have become a party to this investigation. I'm going to click on Edit Case. That's going to bring up the case editing screen. I'm going to scroll down to where my subject information is located, over here on the right-hand side. Next to the primary subject tab, you're going to see a plus. You click on that, and here you'll see that I have these subject types available for this type of investigation. I have found 2 witnesses, so I'm going to add 1 witness. I'm going to add another witness, and now I have a relative of this subject that I need to speak with that has become a part of this investigation. Now I have all of these 4 subjects inside of my case file, and I can go and add information for each one and kind of keep up with each party of my investigation. When you get done, click Submit. I'm going to click Cancel for this demonstration purpose so that we don't have to go and take time to fill out all of those fields. Now, a common question that we get from users is, what if my subject is a company? So what you want to do is you want to go to Settings. We're going to go back to Subject Types, and we have a subject type, and we can either add it if it's not in here. We have one in here. It's called Business. You can manage this custom form, because what we're going to do is we're going to make that primary field down at the bottom that we talked about. We're going to make that business name the primary field. So let's say it was first name Pryor. You would just go in and you would remove that first name, and you would make the business name the primary field, and then you would be able to click Save. So let's go back to this case, and we could add the business to this particular case file. And now the next time I go to that case, I'm going to be able to select a business. If you have certain case types that only have business investigations, for example, this due diligence, you could just go in here and edit this case file and only make companies the default subject type, which is here, which is what we've done with this business. So that's a perfect example of having a business as a primary case type. So just to recap, if you want to create or have multiple subject types on your cases, go to the Settings area, and in the Case Customization area, you can select and add subject types by clicking on Subject Types. If you want to add those subject types to be available on your case types, you go into your case type settings and add or make available those subject types for each particular types of cases that you worked. To edit or add subjects to your particular case file, you want to go to your cases. To add multiple subjects to your cases, you click on Edit Case inside of a case file, and then scroll down where you see the subject information, and from there you can click on the plus sign that is next to the subject's information, and you can add multiple subjects. If your subjects are companies and not individuals, you want to create a subject type called company or business, and then designate that subject type as the primary field for an investigation.